Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fresh Take from What Fresh Hell, laughing in the face of motherhood. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy. Today we're talking to Kendra Adachi, better known as the Lazy Genius. She is the host of the Lazy Genius podcast. She is the 2-time New York Times bestselling author of The Lazy Genius Way and The Lazy Genius Kitchen. Kendra lives in North Carolina with her husband and 3 kids. Today, we'll be talking about what Kendra calls compassionate time management and her newest book, The Plan, Manage Your Time Like a Lazy Genius. Welcome, Kendra.
Thanks, y'all, for having me. So good to see you.
We're so excited. You are such a notable quotable on our podcast. I can't think of the number of times we've quoted you.
People decide once. We've talked about that so much, and we always throw it to you. But we say it so much, people think we said it. We're always like, no, that's a lazy genius. Decide once. But we do live that way.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you. I'm so glad to be just like a quiet little voice hanging out with decide once. That one's sticky, isn't it? That's such a sticky principle we love so much.
It's such a good one. It's such a good, simple rule for life.
This is one of my favorite topics day to day for better and worse, which is time management and productivity. I love trying new ways to be productive, although a lot of them end up making me feel bad about myself. And Kendra, you point out in the book that there's a really good reason for that.
There's a really good reason. Yeah. Like how many times have we read any sort of time management book and we finished it and we were like, man, I feel good about myself. I feel so good about myself right now. It just doesn't happen.
Right. I'm already doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, part of the problem is that 93% of time management books are written by men, and men don't carry the mental load of the home. They don't have periods, and authors themselves typically don't have bosses. So if you are not dealing with a boss, a home to run, and hormones, it's a lot easier to look ahead and go, what do I want my life to look like in 20 years? And then reverse engineer that and have like this repetitive day all the time to serve this invisible future that you have built up. And that is just not the reality for women, nor do I think it has to be the reality for everyone. I just want there to be permission for people to not have greatness be the goal. Greatness and optimization and mastery of your time is the goal that is set before us by the industry. And I think maybe we need a different goal. Maybe that's part of the problem. It is that we have one typical type of lifestyle and person speaking into time management, but also like maybe the system's a little wonky for most people, and we need to rethink what actually matters here.
I wouldn't pick up a time management book if you bribed me with it. I mean, we are so opposite in that way. And I will say, I read this book because it was a book that was going to be on the podcast. We obviously know and love you. And there is something for everybody in this book. I always think of time management as like the rise and grind people who want to get up and self-actualize. I'm like, I don't want to self-actualize. I just want to make it through my day. And I thought it was really interesting that one of the early principles in the book, kind of rejecting some of those ideas of time management, because, you know, God bless you if you're making an income for yourself, but I got no interest. I don't even want to rise, and I definitely don't want to grind.
Right, right. Well, here's the thing that is kind of fascinating about this culture that we live in America in particular, is the American dream is rise and grind. Like that's what the country's built on in many ways, right? It's potential, it's striving, it's hustle. And there is so much beauty in that. Like it's lovely to have opportunity for people and follow your dreams. And you have the chance to do that. But that has been conflated with this productivity industrial complex that we live in, which is, okay, you got to get it done. You got to rise and grind. But like, in order for the rise and grind industry to make money, we have to keep thinking that we're not doing it well enough. Because if all these things that we've been reading so far were working, we would all just be rising and or grinding, or a third and fourth and fifth alternative, rather than keep going back to the drawing board because we feel like we're doing it wrong. And that's what I think there has to be space for people to be like, I'm not a rise and grinder, or I have to rise and grind a little bit in this season of life that I am in because of the responsibilities that I have or the commitments that I have that I've chosen to. But because that is what my season of life is now, I have to let some other things go. I can't rise and grind at everything. You cannot make everything matter all at the same time. Nor should everything matter to everyone, like across the whole of your life. You know, Margaret, like, I feel like there are people who it's either you that they're like, I don't read time management books. Like I run for cover, or people like me and maybe Amy who are like, can I have them all? Can I have them all? Because there's got to be something in there I haven't found yet. We got to figure out the formula. And both reactions make sense to me in this world that we live in, because it's either like try hard or give up, because it doesn't feel like there's a middle for us.
Right. And I think the reality is that I do have a lot of things to do. I have 3 children. I have a job and a career and a husband and a large extended family. I suppose I could, completely run away and live on a beach somewhere and pretend I never met any of these people, but that's not in the immediate plans. Whether or not you accept the call to rise and grind, there's a lot of grind that's going to find you every single day. And you say the goal is you want to make hard things easier and enjoy life more than endure it. I started a practice this year that I stole from someone off of TikTok of color coding my days. I put black for a terrible day, brown for a bad day. And then I look at it and it's kind of an interesting visual of 365 days of the year. Why were these bad days bad? Were they things that were out of my control or in my control? I don't want to endure my life, even when things are hard and overwhelming. I want to get up and have mostly good days.
Right. And I would just say that it doesn't mean you throw out all the books, right? The answer isn't like, who cares? Let's live your life. That's not it either, because then important things get dropped and you're in stress and catch up mode all the time. So some productivity advice is useful, but it's leaving behind some part of the guilt trip. Is that the point?
I think what we need to start to explore is we need a different goal. So the goal in the industry in general is, be great, master this, optimize this. It's a little mechanical. It's a bit robotic. It needs to be very repetitive. It's kind of set it and forget it, right? But for the purpose of you want to be your best self and it's like a level, you're always leveling up yourself. And I'm offering, perhaps for some of us, the goal instead is integration, meaning let's be who we are where we are today, no matter what the circumstances are, because we can't control a lot of those. Like, I love that line, the grind will find you. That's right. Such a good, you need to write that down. That is such a good line, because it will absolutely find you. And so what I know happens for me, like if I were to color code my days and I were to look at those bad days, the bad days, quote unquote, are typically days where I did not accomplish all I set out to accomplish, or I didn't check off all the boxes mentally or on actual paper that I set out to do. And I kind of feel like was not enough in some capacity that day. What happens is that the things that keep us often from, doing all the things that we set out to do, some of those things are outside of our control. But if the goal of a good day is to like, I was very productive today. How many times have we said that? We're like, I was so productive today. And we have this like lightness to us, but I think it's a false, we're getting sold short. That is what makes the day red or whatever the color is on the calendar, that you were productive, that you were good at getting things done. Because the industry sets it up that that's the goal. Instead, what if a good day was, you know what? I was kind to myself, even though everything fell apart. I didn't yell at this kid when he spilled his cup of milk as we're walking out the door, or I did yell, but I immediately recognized like I'm rushing. We're all rushing and things happen and I'm going to repair that relationship. It's being like who you are, where you are, compassionate and kind towards yourself, towards your people as best as you're able with the energy that you have, honoring the energy you have, honoring what's on your calendar, but not at the expense of like your own soul. You know, I feel like that is a good day. That's a good day. That's something that we can like, I even struggle to use the word control here, but that is something that we can be aware of and have like, we can be connected to who we are in those moments. We can, in a way that we can't really be as connected to those circumstances. It feels like we're just, you know, juggling all the balls of the things that are thrown at us. And who you are is not a ball to juggle.
That goal of being more compassionate or viewing yourself as a ball that doesn't need to be juggled, that becomes your goal for your day instead of I'm going to return these 10 emails and then that happens or doesn't happen.
I think that's where it needs to start. Y'all, I got to read Amy's new book that comes out in January. Is that when it comes out? In January?
Yes, it comes out in January. Yeah.
Talking about Amy's book is always allowed.
Good. I figured that was true. It's so good. I cannot wait for you to read it. And also, having read it, I'm not surprised that you're like, but I also have 10 emails. Like, what are you saying? How can I get my 10 emails done? When we have so much to do, it can almost feel a little patronizing for me to be like, yeah, you just need to be kind to yourself. Like that's all that you need today. And that is not what I'm saying. It's not that's all you need. I think that's where you begin. A principle in the plan is staying grounded is more important than staying on task. Staying who you are in that moment and taking even 5 seconds to just take a deep breath and go, I'm okay here. We can get a towel for the milk. The day is not ruined because of this thing. Just taking a moment and naming like literally what's happening, not letting it spiral out of control in your own head. And then you are able to move forward into cleaning up the milk or answering the emails or whatever it is with like a greater sense of connection to yourself. Our stuff disconnects us from ourselves.
We're talking to Kendra Adachi. Her new book is The Plan, and we'll be right back. Hellions, it's time for some spring cleaning, and I don't just mean the coat closets. Doing your financial spring cleaning can actually be super easy when you let Monarch do your financial spring cleaning for you. One dashboard that gets your entire financial life organized. No more clutter, no more mess, no more logins scattered everywhere, just accounts, investments, property, and more, all in one place. Get your first year of Monarch for half off, just $50 with promo code FRESH. Monarch allows you to look not only at what you've already spent, but also to plan for the future. With Monarch, you can set savings goals, plan for big purchases, and notice spending trends before they become a problem. I can generate cash flow reports that show me what we spent this quarter, this month, what we're probably going to spend next month, and feel prepared, organized, and knowing how to plan for the future. No more surprises and a lot more clarity. Try Monarch. Use code FRESH at monarch.com to get your first year half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code FRESH. My favorite skincare products actually feel more like self-care, like they're so nice to put on and they smell so good that I'm actually happy when I get to that part of my day. And I swear that is how I feel about Osea's anti-aging body balm.
Amy, you are usually the lotions and potions queen on this podcast, but I have to say, hard agree.
Osea's anti-aging body balm is a liquid silk body balm that combines the lasting hydration of a lotion with the firming power of a serum, leaving skin smoother and firmer.
This body balm is clinically tested and designed to deliver visible results you can see and feel.
So we've gotten to use this product for a couple of months now, and I swear I have really noticed firmer and smoother skin, like on the back of my hands. It's like getting a mini spa treatment from head to toe.
Get a spring-worthy glow with clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code FRESH at OseaMalibu.com.
That's 10% off your first order with code FRESH at OSEAMalibu.com.
At DSW, we ask the important questions, like, what shoes are you going to wear? Whether you're prepping for wedding season, festival season, or just planning the ultimate vacay, the right shoes can make or break an RSVP. So own the moment. You've got big plans, and we've got just the shoes. At the perfect price, of course. Get ready to get ready with Designer Shoe Warehouse. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today and let us surprise you.
So, Kendra, let's dive into the plan. I think that Amy often says on the podcast, you need to slip a piece of paper, like this thin piece of paper between maybe your kid's behavior and your reaction, or your constant fight that you're having with your spouse and how you're going to fix that. And I think that we kind of understand the concept of taking that moment to say, like, okay, the spilled milk is not going to be the whole day. We're coming at it from the point of view of Amy, super geared towards productivity, myself, less geared to productivity, but also understanding that, listen, if I eat like nothing but Reese's Puffs and watch TikTok all day and don't exercise for 5 days, I actually feel terrible. So I want maybe a little more productivity. Amy, maybe not less productivity, Amy, not less productivity, but, you know, just a little less stress around.
Less stress around the not being enough productivity, right?
Around the productivity. So let's start walking through the plan. And the plan, as I understand it, let me start with this quote, which I like. You say, living is painting a picture, but we've been taught it's assembling a puzzle. So how are we changing through the plan from assembling a puzzle to painting a picture? Because I love I think in metaphors, I live in metaphors, and this metaphor really worked for me.
Again, I love people's reaction to metaphors because some people are like, now I get it. And others are like, this is not a list. What are you talking about? Please don't say painting versus puzzle.
I'm a metaphor mind.
But I agree. I love this metaphor so much. The industry that we have grown up in, the way that we have been taught to sort of organize and orient our lives is like we're putting together a puzzle. We are matching the picture on the box. We are naming in our head, in the front part of our journal that we, you know, our new planner that we get, that we do on January 1st. And we're like, okay, what's my life going to look like? What are these things that because we have been taught that if you're every single day is not moving towards that picture on the box, you're wasting your day. You're being undisciplined. You're being inconsistent. Like, it's very shaming that if you're not moving towards the picture on the box, then you are the problem and you need to figure it out. The other thing about puzzles is, like, think about the last time you put a puzzle together and there was a piece missing, and how the whole thing was like, well, that was the biggest waste of time ever. Like, the exacting completion of the puzzle is the goal. The process, you're like, well, the process is fine, but there's nothing responsive or creative about the process of putting a puzzle together. It's very mechanical and detached. This goes here. This is right. This is wrong. It's very linear. And again, it's matching the picture on the box. I don't know about you, but the thing that I thought my life might look like 5 years ago to now, you know, like if you look back at 5 years ago, Kendra, what's your life going to look like in 5 years? I wouldn't have been able to say all these things. 10 years for sure. Do you think 24-year-old Kendra had any idea? Like, we don't always know what it is that we want our lives to look like. We don't have full control over what that's going to be. We have some, but we don't have full control. And it also, puzzling our lives together does not take into account the seasons that we're in. It doesn't take into account illnesses that we have or our family has. It doesn't take into account, like, there might be some sort of financial crisis in your own life that you have to pivot around and go, wow, this is changing a lot of things now. You get a job transfer and you have to move to a new city. A parent dies and you get hit with grief. All that, like, there are so many things that can change that picture on the box. So instead of that, that being the goal that we're trying to put together this picture on the box, what if life was like painting? What if every day you brought the paints available to you, your energy, your schedule, what your hormones, whatever is going on in the season of life that you are in. And there is fluidity and movement in painting. It is expected for paintings to be layered, to be blended as you go, for there to be movement in the strokes of things. Linear, like straight linear paintings are, they don't necessarily move us in this, like a paint by numbers is not going to move you in the same way that an actual painting with that movement and fluid and layering is going to have. So again, if you're a metaphor person, you might be like, oh, that feels really good. But let me say to the people, because this metaphor is brought up a lot in conversations I'm having. And there's one big pushback that I think is a good pushback that probably would meet you guys and your audience really well. What if you're good at puzzling? What if you're really good at logistics? What if you were not puzzling your family's life together, everything would actually fall apart, So it's like, well, don't take away my puzzle. Like that's my whole job is puzzling. That's what I do. My invitation to you is when you look back on that day, at the end of the day, when you're putting your color coding your day, or someone's like, how was your day today? Which is such a complicated question because there's so many things that happen in a single day. But when you look back, what you're looking back on is the painting. It's not the puzzle. Like the thing that you're sort of evaluating is how did I feel today with myself? How did I respond to these things? And if I lost my mind, am I going to be kind to myself about that? Yes, I am. It's just coming back to the center of who you are. You can honor the puzzle and you're going to bring puzzling into your life, and we need puzzlers. So it's not like throwing out the puzzle altogether. But if, again, that is the goal, if every day is in service to this picture on the box, there's no room for movement and change and pivoting and energy. And we, as women, need that. We need the freedom to be able to incorporate that movement into our daily lives.
And I think there's another aspect to the puzzle that the picture, extending the metaphor, which I like to do, the picture sometimes is so unrealistic that like, I want to, at this phase of my life, be active because I know I feel better when I'm active a couple of days a week. And I like to challenge myself with new things. But if I make the picture on the box, J-Lo at 53 who looks 20, I'm chasing a picture. Like I don't even have the pieces to make that picture, And that's what the puzzle metaphor also speaks to me because I'm trying to paint myself. And I think maybe more so as women, sometimes we're trying to put together a picture that we don't even have the pieces for, but that someone else told us this is the right picture and this perfect home and this perfect laundry room that is covered in shiplap when mine is just full of dirty socks. Like that, getting to your own plan as opposed to the internet's plan or Pinterest's plan or your mom's plan that was very important to her, but that you still have trouble fitting into as a middle-aged person. I'm just making this up, just pulling it out of nowhere. Who knows? But yeah, I thought of that. The puzzle metaphor, all I'm saying, really works for me.
Can we talk a little bit about the plan? You break down plan into PLAN. It's very, for a logical puzzler like me, this does get very nitty gritty. So let's talk a little bit about the 4 steps of planning.
Yes. So the plan, I call it the plan pyramid, even though it's technically a tetrahedron for you math nerds out there. But it's like a 3-sided triangle. Okay. This is the framework that I think could be really helpful in moving us in this direction of integration being a goal and having compassionately managing our time while still getting our stuff done. Like we still got to get our stuff done. So the base of the pyramid is what matters to you in the season that you're in. So you got to name the season that you are in. It's like I currently have 3 kids in 3 schools. I'm in the car a lot. I'm managing, again, so many logistics to manage in my life right now. And just last night, it's Tuesdays are my long work day. And I planned to make a new recipe on Tuesday night. And I'm taking one kid to clarinet and I'm getting home and I have 20 minutes before I have to leave again to get the other kid from marching band. And I got home and I was like, what was I thinking? So we got Popeyes because that's a better plan. That's a better choice for that night in the season of life that we're in. And so it's just going like, okay, what matters right now? It's not that we are going to be eating homemade stuff every single night. It's putting the things that are convenient and helpful for our logistics so we're not all rushing and feeling crazy all the time. Let's honor the season that we're in. So what matters where we are? Okay. So if that is the foundation of how you're making your choices, how do you build on that? So PLAN, the acronym, stands for prepare, live, adjust, and notice. Okay. The 3 sides of that pyramid are prepare, adjust, and notice. Here's why this is important. The industry teaches us to prepare. That's all it is preparation, right? It's setting us up for the future. It's making your list. Here's your systems, prepare, plan, without teaching us and even honoring that adjustments, small adjustments as you go really lead you to systems that work for you so that you don't have what I call big black trash bag energy.
I love that phrase.
That really happens in your life or even in your like organization where it's just like, we're done. We're starting over. Pick it up now or it's going to the dump. Like you literally are walking around your life with a big black trash bag. And that is such a big swing. That's such a big step. That's not a small adjustment, right? But because we think we're supposed to create this thing and set it and forget it, and it's supposed to work, when it doesn't work, we're not taught to make small adjustments. We're taught to start over and find a new system. And that is not sustainable. We don't have time to do that. We got too much we got too many logistics to deal with. So instead, there needs to be equal energy into preparation and adjustment. We should give it just as much energy. You think about that pyramid is going to topple if one side, it's not even going to work if one side is so much bigger than the other two. So we need to give equal energy to adjustment and equal energy to noticing, to paying attention to what our bodies are saying, what is on our schedule and going, do I really need to do that today? I don't. Do I really need to say yes to that? Like taking a minute and going, no, not in this season. Y'all, a good example. I am the president of the middle school band booster club at my kids' school. When you're the president, you have to figure out all the things. I mean, you're telling the people what to do. When are we meeting? What are we doing? And I have one kid in middle school now and one who just started high school. The high school booster club just started meeting. One might assume that the president of the middle school band booster club would join the high school and be part of that. She did not. Because this season, I can't handle another commitment right now in this semester for sure. I'm launching a book. Again, 3 kids in 3 schools. There's a lot we're transitioning into. This is not a season. I'm noticing if I add another commitment, I'm not going to make it. Like it's just not wise for me to do. And the booster club in high school is not going to fall apart if I don't attend the meetings. Like it's going to be fine. But if you just assume and you're just like, well, I got to figure out how to add that in. If you're in that preparation energy all the time without giving equal space to the noticing what you need, what is wise for you and your family, how much rest you're getting, noticing the 5 days of TikTok and Cocoa Puffs or whatever. It's like, let's pay attention to what's going on. Let's adjust in small steps. And if you start to do that, it really does impact how you prepare. It changes what the list looks like. It changes how you feel toward it. You're honoring the season of life you're in. You're going, this is not for now. Now is not forever. And I'm going to make this choice though for right now because this is better for us right now. Like there's just a lightness and a breathability to it when you are equally preparing, adjusting, and noticing. And then the top of that pyramid, the point, both physically and metaphorically, is to live. That is the point, is you're living your life. You are who you are, where you are, no matter what is going on, no matter how stressful your circumstances might appear on paper. There is this inner sense of calm where you are enjoying just a little bit more than you are enduring. The enduring still is there. The overwhelm is still there. The stress is still there. I'm not promising that you're not going to be stressed ever again. That's ridiculous. Life is life.
Wait,
exactly.
What? That's what we thought you were promising.
I know. Well, and that's also, if you think about it, that's also kind of what the guys promise is if you're stressed out, it means you're not doing it right. And it's like stress-free is not a goal. That is not a realistic goal for anyone. You are going to have stress. So instead, how can we just, even if it starts out 51-49, how can we have a little bit more enjoyment of our life more than enduring? And as we adjust and we notice in equal measure with preparing, I feel like that number is going to slowly get bigger and you're going to have more comfort in how you're living your life.
We're talking to Kendra Adachi. Her new book is The Plan, and we'll be right back.
Amy, when I'm having a good hair day, it usually makes my whole day better. And that's why on every day, I'm taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by dermatologists. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are peer-reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested.
Nutrafol offers multiple formulas for men and women, tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors, so you get support that's actually right for you. Adding Nutrafol to your daily routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed, with automated deliveries and free shipping to keep you on track.
Let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code LAUGHING.
That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LAUGHING. All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that: taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence, all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE. Kendra, I wanted to ask about something you've said in the book that I want to be walked through for myself more clearly. For our lives, you start by naming what matters, then you make it singular, then you make it smaller. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Okay. If you're listening to me right now and you're like, well, this all sounds great, but like, oh, I have so many things. If you organize your life, like I have so many buckets that I'm having to pour into, or I have so many, plates in the air, or balls that I'm juggling or whatever. And we're sort of used to this idea in these planners that we've been buying for years, and these courses that we've been taking, and these books that we've been reading. We have been used to this practice of like breaking our lives into categories. What are your top 3 goals for your work, for your health, for your relationships? And there's nothing wrong with looking at those things in segments. That's actually helpful because it's making your life smaller. But what we tend to do is sort of think that we have to be tending to every single one of our life's categories at the same time. And that's really hard to do. Really hard to do. So what if instead we look at our season and we go, okay, what matters to me right now? And for me, well, I'll just talk you through kind of what this could potentially look like. If I'm like, okay, what matters to me right now is that I don't feel like I always need to hide in a closet at the end of every day because I just can't stand anyone else talking to me. That I just sort of run out really fast. You know, that we all know that feeling where you're like, if one more person says anything to me, it doesn't matter how benign it might be, I'm going to run away from you. Like I can't handle one more question right now. There are days where we have that energy. That is kind of a default energy for me. And so in busy seasons, one of the things that really matters is like, okay, I don't want to lose my mind. I want to still like be me here and be kind to my people. Okay. So let's make that singular. All right. I'm like making that about me. That's my own behavior, right? Now, are there certain categories of my life or times of the day or specific relationships where that energy starts to like rise in me where I'm like, oh, I'm done. Like, what is it that's causing that? Let's kind of like think about how we can make that a little bit more singular. It's homework. It's trying to get my oldest, who has a new ADHD diagnosis that we're learning to work with and honor. And like, oh, you learn in different ways. You organize your stuff in different ways. It's dealing with the homework of a teenager who doesn't want to do homework and also doesn't have the tools yet to do that homework, right? Okay. All right. So if I'm sort of tending to that area a little bit, that's what causes a lot of the chaos in me. Okay. Let's see how we can make that smaller. What matters on a really small level here? I don't want to yell at my kid. I don't want to get frustrated at him just because of how his brain is wired. That's not fair. That's not fair to him. Okay. So maybe the smallness is when I'm about to go into a conversation with him, I'm going to say what matters most right now is that he feels seen and he doesn't feel shamed for who he is. That singular thing, that very small thing that I'm going to do. Or maybe it's a small thing like we don't do homework right when he gets home because I'm making dinner. I'm going out to get the other kid. It's just too chaotic. And even though that's when we've normally done our homework, maybe that is not the best time because I'm not at my best self then. And frankly, neither is he because he just did a whole day of school and he's tired and he doesn't want to do more. So maybe we move homework to after dinner. That's a small thing. Like, so rather than being like, oh, I need to lower stress in my life. If you just kind of keep narrowing in on what's happening, and if all you spend your energy on is remembering that you want to connect with your kid and you move homework, that's very doable. That is very, very doable. So it just takes a little bit of noticing and adjusting what you're already doing. And then it just changes a little bit of how you prepare each day, but you don't have to start your life over from scratch in order to try and lower your stress if that's what the goal is in that season. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think it's something that we talk about in so many realms on the podcast. You have to know where you are to do anything, like where am I in my marriage? Maybe I'm just stressed. Like, I don't think my marriage is as good as Amy's marriage. How do I get a marriage as good as Amy's marriage? It's the wrong question. I'm not starting with like, where am I in my marriage and what's going on? My marriage is fine, by the way, guys. We're all doing great, but I'm using it as an example. And I think that one of the things that I responded to really strongly in the book is this idea of starting where you are. Because I think that for me, the stories in my head get a little out of control, like, oh, I'm going to, as I get older, I was always kind of fit and I'm like, I'm getting weaker. There's no point anymore in lifting weights because I'm just old and weak now. And oddly, that doesn't work great for good results.
I was going to say, how's that working for you? How's that mindset working
Not
for you?
Not great. And I think that it can be very challenging for us to kind of look in the mirror and say, what's wrong? And I think the planner, as we often say, we're one good pen and notebook away from writing the great American novel. Like if I could just find the right pen and notebook, that's what's getting in my way of writing a novel. There's a planner that's going to make this all better, but we're skipping this at once very easy and at once extremely terrifying step of where am I right now? And like, why is that such a hard step? And we do this with like, where is my kid right now? Where is my spouse right now? Where are my aging parents right now? Like it's hard to ask these true questions, but why is it so essential to the plan? Because this lit me up. I was like, oh, I get this. And I know this is where I struggle.
Yeah. Starting where you are is, again, it's so antithetical to the potential hustle culture that is around us. We're always striving to level up ourselves. If you decide, no, that's not my goal. That's not my goal. I have a different goal. Just that statement alone can change how you see yourself. It's like, oh no, my goal is not to level up myself right now. It's not. So what is it then? Where am I? What is going on here? One of the principles in the plan is external solutions cannot solve internal problems. The perfect planner.
Oh, say it again for the people in the back. That is exactly right.
Yeah. The problem is not that you don't have this external system. And it's not, I don't even want to say that like, yeah, the problem is inside you. Because honestly, the problem when it comes to time management is not you. It's the system that we're in. It's the industry that has taught us these things. It's not your problem. It is not you. There is a very narrow window of normative time management that most of us do not fall into. And so we need a different way of seeing it, which is why starting from where you are instead of from an invisible future and having a goal be, let's be integrated. Let's be whole today. Let's be connected to ourselves today as we get our stuff done. Let's do that instead of trying to be great. If you change the goal and you change where you start, it's a completely different, it's not even a race. Theirs is a race. Ours isn't even a race. We're just living. We're just living our lives in the season that we're in.
Kendra, I want to ask about the season. Again, this is like the question I would most want to ask the lazy genius if I could talk to her, and I'm talking to her right now. So you're in this season.
It's your lucky day, Amy.
So say you're somebody who has a book coming out in a couple of months, right? And then all of a sudden you have this something come out of left field that completely re-racks your season, right? The book is coming out 3 months from now, I'm doing this, 2 months from now, I'm doing this. And then something happens. And of course, the apple cart is upset, which is much more likely, I would argue, to happen to the default parents who are listening to this episode, right? When the stuff hits the fan, it's on you, the new diagnosis, whatever. How do you then pivot? How do you accept the season that you're in? I mean, I know I'm supposed to do it, but how do you do it?
Right. So not for this book, but I don't know if y'all know about this, but when Lazy Genius Kitchen, my second book, when it came out, it had a release date in March. And in late January, we found out that 30,000 copies of it fell into the ocean on the way here. So talk about an apple cart upset that we had to pivot literally everything. Like we had to pivot the date. We had to pivot all the tour, all the editorial stuff, like the entire launch, we had to pivot. My life had to pivot because of like what was going to be the traveling. Like it was wild. It was a wild thing. And this is why I say that learning to pivot is more important than learning to plan, because it's just like you said, Amy, the likelihood of you having to pivot is much higher than you executing your plan. Because there are just too many things that are going to throw your plan off course. That's why plans are not pass fail. They're just intentions. So just tell yourself that your plan, whether it happens or not, it's not a pass fail thing. You just set an intention of how you were going to spend your time today. And if it didn't work out, that's all right. Like you don't fail at the day. That doesn't mean the day has to be a black day or a brown day. Plans are very neutral in that way. Now, yes, if you sort of have things that were like necessary and then there's a buildup of necessary things and now they've become urgent and you have a lot that's urgent in front of you at once, that can feel stressful. And there's a different energy that you sort of approach that time with, but you don't have to have that sort of like high alert, urgent energy every single day. Like, let's just sort of, be where we are, all the things, and honor learning how to pivot. So in the plan, and I have a whole podcast episode about this as well, but there are some steps on how to pivot kind of in a way that is helpful. The first thing, if you're hit with an obstacle, like your book's falling into the ocean or getting this thing that's like going to upset the whole season. And you're like, what? And this is on a broad scale, but this is also when the milk spills as you're walking out the door, right? And you have to pivot around the plan of when you were going to leave. First thing you do is you breathe. And I always laugh because breathing has now become like a shtick on the internet that we're all like influencers are doing, is telling people you need to breathe and your life will be fine. I don't think that's exactly true, but it is really hard to do anything else if you don't first calm your body a little bit. If you don't like physiologically tell your brain, we are okay. We are okay. So just start by taking a couple of deep breaths and just being like, okay, here I am. This is what's happening. And the second step is to access softness. Like when things go wrong, we have this tendency to tighten up and almost take it personally, or we go into fix it mode right away. There's just this like, it's almost like Iron Man putting his costume on or whatever they call it.
It's not a costume, Kendra. It's a suit.
I know. I was going to say suit. Thank you. I was like, that's such an insulting word I just used for Iron Man's clothing. That's what happens to a lot of us in our bodies when something throws off the plan that we have to pivot around. And so accessing softness, it's not that you can't go on high alert and go, all right, we got to fix this, but that there is an emotional connection. There is a access to kindness and softness so that you are not automatically yelling at the kid who spilled the milk, or me being like, what's wrong with the shipping company? Why didn't they put down, ropes on those things so my books didn't fall into the ocean? Like, those reactions are actually quite normal, and you don't need to beat yourself up for having them. Like, being reactionary to your life is a very normal thing. But as you are trying to problem solve, as you're trying to move through this pivot, if you are in that energy, you're not going to fix anything. It's just going to be worse. You're not going to come up with a good solution, and you're going to be mad about it. So instead, breathe, access some softness within you. And then number 3 is to name what matters. That's the third thing you do, is you name what matters. Okay, what matters right now in this actual moment? It's that my kid doesn't feel shamed for an accident. It's that I'm modeling to my team that we can be nimble and we can change course and it's going to be okay. It's that, you just are in that moment. What matters right now? And there's 4 more steps after that. But those first 3, breathe, access softness, and name what matters. You guys and everyone listening, we're all very capable people. You don't run, no matter where you are on the productivity spectrum of how much you like to read about it and fix it, and the lazy to genius spectrum, let's say, no matter where you land, the people listening to the show, you run the world. Not that you can run the world. You do. We are keeping things going. You are highly capable. You are highly skilled. You are highly intelligent. So if we can actually harness those skills that we already have that come out in the very individual ways that we are all wired and see the world, which makes it better. If you can harness those with this core of we are accessing softness, we have named what matters here, you can do anything. My books fell into the daggum ocean, you guys. They fell into the ocean 6 weeks before my launch. And this is not hyperbole. That season was one of the most fulfilling seasons for me because of how proud I was of myself for pivoting. That was one of the biggest pivots I've ever had to make in my life. And we did it, and we did it kindly and creatively. And it wasn't that I didn't cry about my books being in the ocean, but it really was okay, pivoting is more important than planning. And we made a big plan, but now we got to make a big pivot. So let's do it. Let's pivot. And when you honor the value of pivoting rather than seeing it as a failure, and you access that kindness within you and that softness within you, and then you're I'm ready for this. I'm made for this. I'm a puzzler with the best of them. Let's roll. That's just a whole different energy than everything's falling apart and it's on me now.
Absolutely.
Right? That's 2 very different things.
Kendra Adachi's new book is called The Plan, Manage Your Time Like a Lazy Genius. We loved this book. We'll put the link to buy the book in the show notes for this episode. Kendra, tell our listeners where else they can find you.
Yes, I'm on Instagram at The Lazy Genius. I host the Lazy Genius podcast, new episodes every Monday. And the website where everything is thelazygeniuscollective.com.
Hard to find a book that is useful equally to Amy and Margaret, but Kendra, you've done it. You're the one.
I need to put that on the cover of the book in the reprint. Margaret and Amy both liked it.
That is high praise.
From lazy to genius.
Listen, from lazy to genius, we run the gamut around here. Kendra, this was such a great conversation. Everyone go check out the book. Of course, we'll link to everywhere in the show notes. And Kendra, thanks so much for being with us today.
Oh, y'all, thank you for having me. It was great.
Thanks, Kendra.
You You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's Omni-Shade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.